Sudden loss of power and nosedive during the landing flare had my heart pounding. But what happened next was my biggest lesson for the day.
The layout in this is the same, except we've got an analog panel instead of digital.
I'm more familiar with those.
Yeah. just like the Cherokees and Tomahawk, and the dash is a little bit lower, so your sight picture out the front slightly different.
Okay.
But you can see just sitting here on the ground, this kind of attitude, very similar to your in-flight attitude.
Yep.
And again, remember those lines here that you look, you look out here, straight ahead of yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically just straight ahead. Where your nose would go out through the windscreen, that's your eye line out there. And then we can get the attitude with the horizon once we've got a horizon. If you find taxiing, when just even taxiing down and on the runway, where the end of the runway is, that's very close to your in-flight attitude.
Okay. Yep.
Alright, so first thing is you just need to get your padlock off. And turn the lock. It's the smallest one, I think, the little, that's it. Just tuck that away in that side pocket hand of your road. Just on the door, there's a door pocket there.
Yep.
And you've also got the master key. Master key. And this one. So one of them is a double-sided key. Look for the double-sided key.
One.
That's it.
Now which way?
And then it turns quarter turn to the right to turn on.
Okay.
Okay, so turn it back off again here, we'll just run through. So, I ran you through with me talking last time, so we'll have a look this time at the written checklist.
Yep.
But again, so you can concentrate on what you're doing, I'll just hold it for you and read the stuff out, so you can concentrate on
just that one?
On your actions to be more familiar with.
Okay, so you're going to read it out.
So we've got pre-takeoff,
yep.
Run up and then take off, and then on this side just our start up.
Okay.
Start and shut down. Alright?
Yep.
So you want to go through avionics off, make sure they're off before we start. The master's off, yep. Alright, and then the brakes are on.
Brakes, that's on.
So, yep, fuel is on. And we have enough.
And so quantities are set here, so just over 40 litres there, and over 40 litres there, so plenty.
80 litres, yep, more than sufficient for what we want. Okay. Now we're going to go into the start routine. Choke, do we need to use a choke? Today?
That's pretty warm.
Yeah, warm enough.
Does that depend on the oil
how warm the engine is? So you can have a look at both the oil and the CHT to see how warm the engine is.
You've got to turn on the master.
Some instruments work without, others you need the master on to work. But how warm is it outside?
Okay, right.
Yeah, we won't need the choke now.
Yep.
Throttle set as required, so just grab your throttle, cycle it all the way back, and then just open it about 1 millimetre. No, that's probably about 3, just a whisker, the tiniest whisker is all you need. Okay. Alright, master on. Ignition's on. Boost pump on. Now we just listen to it for a while, and then we're going to turn it back off again.
Does that actually prime the fuel? Is it just a test, or does it actually help to start
Both.
the engine?
Both. It doesn't really help to start, but it does ensure that we have fuel pressure in the line, right up to the mechanical fuel pump, and it's a test that it's working.
Yep.
So once the engine's running, it's harder to pick that up, and we don't have a fuel pressure light on. In this particular one we do, but not all of the models have fuel pressure lights.
Yep.
Okay, so we should be ready to start. Engine's ready, so have a look around, make sure no one's coming.
People there.
Open your door and just yell out. You can yell out this side's alright.
Clear prop!
Hand on the throttle.
This is the starter?
That's the starter button. Always keep one hand on the throttle so you're ready to adjust it.
Okay.
There's no foot brakes.
What's this thing up here? That's the rudder pedals up here?
Yeah, the pedals are not straight at the moment because we've come to stop it.
So starter up?
Yep. So bring your rev straight down, see it's revving too high, just go by sound, bring it down as much as possible. Want about 1,000 revs. That should come back a bit more than that. And we want to check that we have oil pressure. So as soon as we start, we have oil pressure. So the engine's up and running, reasonable revs, and we have oil pressure. Nothing else to do with the engine's really of a priority at the moment. So now we'll go on and get all our other systems up and running. So that's going turned up to about halfway. So just cycle the volume through its range so you know that it's turned up at least half volume. Because sometimes people leave the volume too low and you don't realise you're not hearing any radio calls. Okay, now we can get our headsets on and check the intercom. The other side, you can just rotate that. So rotate the mic boom around over the top so it's facing the other way. Oh, you run out of cable there. It rotates the other way, doesn't it? That's better. And then you can have this over the other shoulder. Put it on the other shoulder, yep.
Gyro 958, Charlie Golf Tango. Yeah, go up the 958, just turning crosswind off 3-4 for a crosswind approach to the coast. Wollongong having, and we got you spotted.
Okay, so we're hearing some radio calls, so we know our volume's sufficient. You can adjust it if you need to loud or soft.
Doing crosswind and remain, okay.
And our intercom's working properly.
Yep,
so we don't need to adjust. This is our intercom control, so we've got squelch and volume on the intercom.
Okay.
So that's all okay. And the last thing with the avionics is we'll get the transponder going. So on that there's a button that says standby. See the STB? Press that. Takes a couple of seconds to boot up, and we want to see 1200 as the code when it comes up. Even though it's in standby mode, we want it on the VFR code of 12. It is, all good.
And you can hear me, Bruce? Yeah?
Yep, I've got you. On the ground, I'll just decrease the squelch a bit to make it a bit more sensitive, and then when we take off, we'll turn it back up.
Okay, so standby 1200.
Yep, all good. So, everything's up and running, working. We're ready to taxi, which we'll do, and then we'll go and find the location to run through our pre-takeoff and run-ups.
Okay. So, park brake off.
Yeah, what's your current altitude?
Yeah, I'm climbing above 8, through 800 feet, all go to 1,000. Have you got it spotted yet?
A little bit more twitchy the throttle on this one.
Yeah, on the initial, it's a bit stiffer on the initial movement.
Here to give ourselves some space, we'll keep looking out for you.
So you normally taxi out, check the windsock before making a...
Yes, yeah. We have to do our run-ups, and
yeah, we should be clear.
Thanks for that.
Depending on where we are, on which airport you're at, there's different run-up areas. In this case, we've got one right down the bottom of 16.
Yep.
We actually have to enter and backtrack, or we go up here towards Haas. So we come out and have a look at the windsock and say,
not much wind.
No, and if anything favouring 3-4. So we'll go up outside the Haas area on the hard stand up there, and we'll do our run-ups up there.
So do we make a taxi call?
No, this is where, and again, this is where interpretation comes into it.
Yeah.
I don't believe there's any point in making a taxi call at this stage.
If you're going to do run-ups.
Yeah, we may find a problem and turn around and come back again.
Yeah.
So the idea of the taxi call is to alert other aircraft that are either inbound or departing that there's another aircraft coming out to use the runway shortly.
Yeah.
If we do it now and we spend 10 or 15 minutes doing run-ups, half of those guys weren't even on the CTAF.
Yeah.
And the other problem is, what if we find a problem, turn around and come back again? They're all looking for this aircraft that's heading out to take off, and it's all it's done is turn around and go back again.
Point Wollongong CBD area, Lima Victor November is 5 minutes to parachute drop. From flight level 120, overhead flags up Point Wollongong CBD area.
And a controlled airport is different. You have to get taxi clearances sometimes before you can taxi, but in this case, non-towed aerodrome, we don't have to. So we want to position for the run-ups. So we've got to look at our available places.
Yeah.
We want to be pointed into the wind if possible. We've got some people over there, so we're going to keep clear of them.
Yeah.
So we've got two options, in the middle of the diamondy shaped thing there, or we'll come back over this corner. So let's just go over this corner. So just go down far enough that you can turn around and come back up, and we'll end up just right close to over in the corner here, facing back to the north. That's it. Slow down now and spin around hard.
Got a blimp over there.
Yeah. Okay, and we'll Just roll forward enough that we're not impinging the taxiway behind us. That's it. Just line yourself up a little bit more into the wind just to maximise the engine cooling. Okay, so we're well inside the parking clearance line. Back up into the wind. Safe from other aircraft and other people. Good spot. So, pre-takeoff checks. Location is suitable, and we've orientated the aircraft nicely. We're looking in terms of our prop wash and looking after the engine. Okay, controls full and free, and then correct sense.
Aileron up, right aileron right down.
Wollongong traffic, shark up to 958, 5 miles to the east at 1,000 feet, and we're tracking south coastal.
Can't really see the elevator go down much.
Doesn't go down very far, but is it moving in the downwards direction?
Yep.
Yep, okay. Yeah, the travel on it's fairly limited travel on the elevator.
Okay.
Compared to the ailerons. Okay, the instrument panel. So instruments, we do a scan. So we're going to do a flow scan of the whole panel.
Yep.
So starting in the left-hand corner, work your way with a systematic approach through the panel till we've covered everything.
Okay, so start with the lights here. So the master on, starter engage light off, fuel pressure light
off. Yep, good.
Airspeed indicator's reading about 20, but that's where it starts.
Good.
The altimeter looks a bit wrong there.
Is incorrect, so we need to set that, set the QNH.
So what's the QNH?
If you don't know it, you set the airport elevation, which is 30 feet. Okay. Or we can dial up the AWIS on that 12035 and get it from there. So 30 feet's about a third the way between the 0 and the 1. Okay, so keep swinging around.
Okay, so transponder's on standby, 1200. We're on the right frequency, we're hearing traffic. Time. The intercom's all good.
Yep.
All T's and P's. That's in the green.
Yep, not too hot.
Oil temperature's pretty...
Yeah, it's just off the stop. See the stop? There's a little pin just there.
Okay,
It goes down a little bit below the 50.
Okay.
It's just coming up to the 50 now.
Yep. Okay, and...
Oil pressure, now it's warmed up, has dropped down at idle.
Yep.
But still within a workable range. We want it up in the green for flying, but down there is allowable at idle.
And the voltmeter's in the green.
So what's that telling us?
It's telling us that...
Are we charging the battery? No, it's not telling us that at the moment. We need to know, it's telling us battery voltage. So we only know the alternator's charging if the battery voltage has increased, if the voltmeter has increased from the original startup voltage.
Which is?
So whatever it was before we started. So if we didn't take note, we don't know. So one way of finding out though is increase the revs a little bit to make the alternator generate a bit more voltage, and we should see the voltage increase. So just take it up to about 1500 revs. Hold and see the needle starting to move up. So the alternator is working, but we'll check that as part of the run-up. Alright, so just come right back to your idle again. But yeah, it's not an ammeter, it's a voltmeter. So the only way of knowing whether we're charging is whether you're getting an increase in voltage above the standard battery voltage.
Okay, right.
We expect to see that up around about 14 volts in flight.
So would you,
full throttle.
Would you not include that your startup checklist?
You could. I don't think you need to because we do it as part of our run-up check. But there's certainly no point in no problem checking it first.
Okay. So circuit breakers all in. Flaps we will test later, I presume.
Okay. Yep.
All the switches are in the correct position. RPM is 1000. Vertical speeds indicating 0. Turn coordinator is level, ball in the middle, which matches what's happening outside there.
Okay. Good.
Tanks are on.
All this stuff's off?
Yep, cabin heat, choke and carb heat are all in.
Okay. So we didn't find any problems there, alright? So what have we got next?
Fuel. Fuel is
We check
on.
it again. Is it on?
Yep.
Have we got enough? 2 gauges, the mechanical gauges up there in the wing root.
Yep.
And also some electric gauges here, which are not particularly reliable. As you can see, what Ned says to you.
Okay.
So these are indicating
Half and full.
they're full on that side, half on this side. What you find is they don't drop off full until you're down to about 3/4 of a tank, then all of a sudden they'll start to move. So I don't take too much notice of these.
Okay.
We go by what we dipped and by what the wing root ones are telling us.
Yeah, and they're quite still, again, they're a bit unbalanced.
Yeah, depending on whether the plane's level or not level, the fuel will move around a bit.
Okay.
We expect them in flight, if you fly straight, they'll level up a bit. The two tanks are cross-linked. Yeah, they cross-flow automatically. Okay, so flaps. We'll check the flap system.
Flaps down, indicator down.
Wollongong traffic.
Flaps up.
28, Lima Victor November, approximately 8 miles to the northeast.
Flaps are up, indicator is up.
Load up an indicator, good.
500.
Trim.
We'll be joining a...
So we want to check it and then set for takeoff. How can we check the trim? Just run it through its travel.
Watch what happens to the yoke.
See the yoke's moving, yeah, or the stick's moving, yep. Come back.
Okay, set to neutral.
Back to neutral. Remember what we said about the only place the trim and the elevator control rod are connected is up at the elevator itself.
Yeah.
So if you saw that movement, you know you've got continuity in your control rods from the trim and the elevator right through to the elevator bell crank.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, matches and harness secured, everything's tidied up, ready for takeoff.
Romeo, November, X-ray, 7172.
Okay, good.
Doors locked.
So we'll now check the engine. So we've checked all the control systems, everything else, now we'll do an engine check.
So brake is on.
Run up, revs about between 16 and 1800 RPM. And you got 200 per graduation, so 16 to 1800 you need reasonable revs. We don't go to 2000 as per the manual because we get too much stone damage on the propeller.
It's a little bit sticky this.
Yeah, not quite as smooth as the other one, yep.
So left mag, that's pretty good. Right mag, pretty good.
Yes, carby heat. So listen and watch. Give it 10 seconds. There's a slight sag.
Pretty good.
Back in. And it came back up again.
Slight rise.
Okay, good. And you can hear it as well. If you're listening to the engine, you'll hear it as well as seeing the movement in there. Okay, scan the instruments while we have the revs up.
Okay, yeah.
So temperature's still okay.
Yeah.
Oil temperature's now up in the range.
Yeah.
Oil pressure's come up.
Yeah.
And the battery voltage is right up to 14.
Okay.
So we know we're charging.
Yeah.
Okay, let's put the fuel pump on. No change in engine mode.
Yep.
So we're
Alright.
on.
You're looking for RPM change.
RPM changes or the engine running a bit rough, in case we're overloading it with fuel. We're flooding the carby with higher pressure. All good? Alright, we better bring it back and check for idle.
Okay, idling 1000, stable.
Yep, so it's low and stable. You want it. And you can just bring this one, it's right back to the stop, that's fine for idle 1000. It's a nice smooth idle. Okay, all complete, didn't find any problems. So now, let's set up ready for takeoff.
Okay, fuel is on, quantity we've checked.
Quantity is sufficient and pump is on.
Pump is on, yep.
Flaps set for takeoff. Okay.
Good, flaps.
Occupants, are we ready for takeoff?
Hatches.
Doors,
Harnesses
seatbelts,
secured.
things tidied up. Okay.
Briefed.
Briefed if necessary. What are we doing? We were going to depart.
3-4 crosswind departure
Yes.
to the training area.
Yes. Okay.
And trim is
Set for takeoff.
Yeah, we've done that.
And transponder now gets activated.
Okay, to on, not
To
alt.
altitude.
Oh, we can use this one.
Yep. Hold and make sure we're squawking
Squawking
1200.
1200.
Okay, that's done.
Okay,
So we're ready to go.
put that back. So now do we give a taxi call?
Correct.
So it's Jabiru, Wollongong traffic, Jabiru 5214, taxiing runway 34 Wollongong.
Yes. Now if you just wait a couple of seconds, so just do your turn first,
Yep.
you'll be able to combine it with a crossing the other runway call.
Okay.
So you can just call taxiing 34, crossing runway 0826.
Okay, so and bit of power.
Quick look over your shoulder, make sure no one's coming. Yep. Round we go.
So you're crossing runway 0826?
Correct.
So I can give it now?
Yes.
Oh,
Alright.
what happened there?
That's just caused by low initial voltage. As soon as we run for a few minutes and charge the battery up a bit, that buzz will disappear. So one way around that is we can just come to a halt,
Yeah.
add a few revs just to bring the voltage up a bit, and now make your call.
Down is turning down in runway 34 for a touch and go. Wollongong.
Yeah.
Wollongong traffic, Jabiru 5214, taxiing runway 34, crossing runway 0826, Wollongong.
Okay.
That's running pretty loud.
Wollongong traffic, Romeo, November X-ray, entering, lining up, 3-4, Wollongong, Romeo. Wollongong traffic.
So where I was hearing myself really loud.
Yeah, so if that's too loud, adjust it on your headset. Turn your headset down a bit so that the side tone gets reduced there, and then we'll turn the radio up
Traffic
again.
Lima Victor November's clear for all active runways.
So which knob? The one on the right or the left?
Wait till we're clear. Alright, my aircraft, I'll taxi it while you fiddle with your headset. So both knobs should usually roll in the same direction. I'll just keep talking so you can hear something coming through in the intercom, so you can adjust it properly. Remember, you've got two sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now some headsets, I'm not sure what you've got there.
Yeah, they adjust both sides.
Yeah, one of the knobs will click off, and that gives you mono or stereo.
Yeah.
So you turn it back till it's clicked off, and then you just use the single knob on the other side to adjust the volume.
Okay, so I can hear you well.
Yep.
But the radio calls are
Bit soft?
Yeah, bit
okay,
soft.
turn the radio volume up now.
Traffic Wollongong, Charlie Golf Tango Diamond, turning base 34 for
Okay,
Tango Wollongong.
okay, your aircraft?
my aircraft. So again, that's full idle, so I can give it a touch of brakes.
Yeah, just use the brakes as necessary. And we want to test them. See, we're coming up to an end of the road and a turn, so we want to make sure they're okay. We have to. If we've got no brakes, we can flick the engine off.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got a couple of guys inbound, but at this stage, we've got no one on final. We're clear on base, are we?
Someone's on base.
Correct. So stop about here. Don't go all the way around, because your wing will come around and block your view.
Now put the brake on and just hold it there.
You can either, doesn't matter. When you go to move off, if you've locked the brake on, you'll soon remember. So you can lock it on, so you don't have to hold it.
Wollongong traffic, Cessna 182 Bravo, Mike X-ray is 10 miles north, inbound, currently 2,500 feet, expected to join downwind, 3-4, Wollongong traffic.
Wollongong traffic, Jabiru 730, turn to base at 34 Wollongong, full stop.
Another Jabiru on base.
Just turn base,
So what's this one coming in here?
That's a diamond.
Diamond, right.
That one's not, but the university have got several of those.
November X-ray, Cessna 172, start upwind runway 34, in the right turn to track outbound to the north, mate, climb to 1,500, Wollongong traffic.
Got the Jabiru on
He's
base
coming,
there.
okay. Bit longer.
5214, I'm going to get my head. Yeah.
Wollongong traffic, Jabiru 0760, turns final for 34 Wollongong, full stop.
What's happened to runway 026? I notice it's shortened a
Yeah,
bit.
been shortened due to...
Traffic Wollongong, Charlie Golf Tango
Damage up
Diamond is
here.
departing upwind, passing 500 feet, climbing 4,500, tracking north, traffic Wollongong.
Okay, so once he's passed, we can enter the runway and line up and hold. So your call will be entering runway 34 or lining up and holding
lining up 34.
runway 34.
Okay.
Wollongong traffic, Jabiru 5214 is lining up and holding runway 34 Wollongong.
2N.
Wollongong traffic, Jabiru 730, clear of runways Wollongong.
Okay, so we line up, we pause, check. Vital items, fuel, flaps and trim, are they set?
Fuel on, trim set for takeoff.
Flaps
And
set.
what was the other one?
Flaps.
Flaps.
Okay, so fuel, flaps and trim are set. And have a look at the windsock, your last chance to change your mind.
Okay, so we've
No
got a
problem?
bit of light crosswind from the right.
No problem. Okay. On the stick, flying controls, that's it. Good, keeping it straight. When we're starting to pick speed up, we'll just start to try and lighten the nose. Hold. And lift up. Good. Now we want to see 65 to 70. Good. So there's our climb attitude initially.
Yep.
So just hold that attitude. Take note of your runway and your alignment.
Just point it over a little bit.
Yeah, controlling the yaw.
So this one, the attitude looks a little bit lower.
Yes, slightly lower. The dashboard's a little bit different, gives you a slightly different side picture. Okay, when you think you're at a safe height, so looking out the window, we've got reasonable height. Be distracted, make a mistake. So left hand, come across, find the flaps, and just watch out the front, control the attitude change. That's it, good. Attitude we want the same attitude, and the speed's going to pick up now to just under 80 knots. Perfect. So there's your same attitude you had a minute ago. You just keep that same attitude, continue the climb out. We're past 500, so we can legally turn, but we'll just go around behind Haywards Bay housing development.
Oh, it's a lot smoother today than last time.
So about now we can start our turn out towards the...
Look for traffic.
Wollongong traffic, Cessna 182, Bravo Mike X-ray is joining downwind.
Got an aircraft there.
Yes.
Touch and go, Wollongong traffic.
Should he be that high? Oh,
He's joining downwind, so keep turning.
Don't want to run into him.
Yeah. And just reduce your climb and reduce your power a bit until he's passed across in front of us. Bring your power back just a little, reduce your climb rate a little. Stay on your line though, don't modify your crosswind line. Okay, now we can continue climbing out.
He should really come in from the 45 though, shouldn't he?
That's one of the reasons I don't like that straight in approach joining downwind, but in this case we had good visibility, so yeah, I still think that the oblique downwind join is a much better join. Okay, so back to climb. We'll level off at 1,000 just briefly until you think you're clear of the circuit, and then we'll continue our climb.
Oh, we're well clear of the circuit here.
Okay.
Back up.
So back to same attitude to give you that just under 80 knots.
It's pretty much nose right on the horizon actually.
Yep.
Maybe even a little bit above.
Now take note of the yaw. What's happening to the nose? You've got the wings nice and level, but see we're yawing left? That's right, it needs that little bit of right rudder to control the yaw. And when you do that, when you check up, you get everything nice and balanced, you'll find that the ball's in the middle. Remember, any time you've got power on, you're generating the turning left effects from both torque and slipstream and P factor.
Should we give a departure call or anything like that?
Yeah, you can do that update now, so we'll come round to the right a bit. What height are you going to climb to?
Not sure.
Let's say 2,000.
Okay.
And how did we depart, or how are we departing?
Just departing to the east of the training area.
Departing crosswind.
Yep.
Tracking east on climb 2,000 feet.
Wollongong traffic, Jabiru 5214, departed crosswind to the east for the training area, passing 1,700, climbing 2,000, Wollongong.
Wollongong traffic, Bravo Mike X-ray is standing base 34 for a touch and go with an overhead departure to Goulburn. Wollongong traffic.
So while we're climbing, just monitor your temperatures. Oil pressure's good, oil temperature's good, CHTs are staying steady.
Yep. So as we get higher, the nose attitude gets a little lower?
Not really. It may eventually as the air's thinning out, but probably not really noticeable now. I think you just increased it a bit. Have a look for traffic though. You've got to lower the nose every 500 feet and have a look out the front. And there's our traffic. See the blimp down there?
Okay, got it.
So we'll come round to the right. Stay away from
traffic, Lima Victor November is taxiing for runway 34.
And there's your target height.
Parachute up. Event flight class point, all done.
So attitude, pause to accelerate, then power. So we've got about 2850, that's fine for our power setting at this stage. Assess that you're staying level. If not, adjust the attitude till you find the right attitude, then trim it off. So you're happy with whether you're staying level or not? I think you're in a slight climb still, so you just want the nose down just a couple of millimetres. So you're looking for the attitude, then when you've got it, then you trim up.
Okay, I think that's pretty good.
And notice that because you lowered the nose a little bit, we got a slight increase in airspeed and engine revs, so we can just bring the power setting just back a fraction. That's it.
Alright, so about a hand width distance.
Yeah, okay. We'll just do a few turns and just get the feel of this plane, and then we'll run through that, putting the flaps up and down and slowing down for the circuit. Remember your reference point in front of you?
Yep.
I think you've got the nose up high.
Romeo traffic, Lima Victor November, entering crossing runway 0826, Wollongong.
Roll out and back to the same attitude. Let everything stabilise, and then
Back
you
to
can,
the left.
you can cross check. So you picked up nearly 100 feet in that turn, so just had the nose a bit high initially.
Yep.
Alright, yep, so clear right, clear left. Okay. Okay, that's nice. So pick a target somewhere, or just say, right, I will roll out now before we come round into the sun, maybe. Back to the same attitude again. You'll notice how as you come out of the turn, it tends to, the nose comes up a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes you even have to hold it down with a little bit of forward pressure just until it stabilises again. Back to stable. Now, if it's trimmed, it should be back to the trim you had. Let's just try a couple of right-hand ones again. So, clear on the right, clear on the left, and roll in. So this time, take note of your, and straight away your nose has come up a little. So your eye line is slightly in too far. Just concentrate on keeping that straight out in front of you.
Yep.
That's better.
Yeah, I'm just really trying to concentrate on the gap rather than the gauges.
Yeah, that's right, that's good. And now if you check the gauge, look at that.
Yeah.
Can't get any better.
So you just cross-reference every every now and then?
Correct. The gauges are just confirming you've got the right attitude set.
Around to the right a bit.
Okay, yeah, we'll do another one. This time give yourself a target, so pick your target.
Yep.
And then turn onto your target.
Come out on the entrance there.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, it's a lot easier than the turbulent daylight.
Yeah.
So it stayed at about 2.2 for a while, so that's good.
Yep. And when you want to go straight, you want the wings level.
Yep.
And then no yaw. So have a look at the bottom of the windscreen line there. That's better. That's now wings level. And then no yaw. So just enough rudder to keep it straight. And remember, if you add a bit of rudder, what's the secondary effect of rudder? It wants to roll a bit as well. So if you push on a little bit of right rudder to correct the yaw, you're going to have to probably bring the aileron back slightly.
Yeah.
But do it as a mechanical two-step process if you like. If we're not trying to go straight, wings level number 1.
Yep.
Control the yaw number 2, and the plane will be balanced. Alright, let's do a couple of 90-degree turns, because that's what we're going to be doing in the circuit. So clear right, clear left, just in front of the wingtip there, that's our 90-degree line, so we'll turn to that. So bank, hold, wait for the turn to progress.
Hello, traffic Bravo Mike X-ray is departing overhead to Golden, 2242 and passing 3,800 feet to Wollongong traffic.
And rolling out, so you end up just coming to a halt when you're good. But just give yourself a couple of them, and then we'll do a couple to the left in case the circuit direction changes. Then we'll run through the flaps and the attitude changes and setting up a descent.
the left or keep going to the right?
Oh, let's do another one to the right. Remember, come back out to wings level and no yaw. You're coming out just slightly crossed up. Bring it all the way back to getting all this nice and level. If you're not getting a good side picture there, have a quick look out wingtip to wingtip.
Okay.
And after a while, you'll know, you can just look at one wing and you'll know what it looks like when you're level.
Okay.
So try one more to the right. Bank, hold.
There's really very little back pressure, if any, in these gentle little turns.
Yeah, at this speed and this bank angle, we don't need much extra lift because our lift vector hasn't dropped off very much at all. So we don't lose much speed in these aircraft. They're pretty, again, fairly slick. The more speed you lose, the more back pressure you require too. Okay, all good? Alright, let's just try those flaps. So if we want to put the flaps down, what have we got to do? The first thing is...
Wide arc, slow down?
Slow down, yeah. So let's try and maintain our height, but slow down to the wide arc. So what are you going to have to do as you're slowing down?
Pitch up.
Correct. So bring the power off first. Don't anticipate the pitch or you'll find your climb. So bring the power off first. Come back to say 2,000 revs. And then as soon as the speed starts washing off, there, see the nose drop? Now you can hold it up and then just progressively bring it up a little bit more. That's holding your height nicely. We're down to within the wide arc, so let's put the flaps out and see what happens to the attitude.
So do you want me to flaps down,
Yes.
nose down? Or just
As the flaps come down, you watch what happens. See how the nose wants to pitch up? So you have to nose down to counteract that. And we want to end up at that slightly different nose attitude to maintain our level of height. If you kept the same attitude you had a minute ago, you'd find you'd be climbing.
Yeah, so flaps down, nose down.
Yeah, we've changed the shape of the wing, so we need the nose down a little bit, and we're nice and stable at 65 knots.
Okay.
Okay, let's start a descent. So just lower the nose and the power so we don't pick up any speed. So bring the power back a bit. And that's a nice descent attitude.
Yep.
We're coming down around about 500 feet a minute. That's just about perfect. We picked up a few knots, but not too bad. So if we were coming down on base now, we'd be happy with that.
Yeah, that's almost right back.
Yeah. And let's do a turn. Let's turn on the final.
Okay, check traffic. The reference over there.
Yep. Roll into the turn. Keep the same nose attitude. See the nose coming up? That's better. Keep that exact same attitude and nose angle, and nothing changes. Your airspeed doesn't change, your rate of descent doesn't change. And there's no way you can stall in that turn. Alright, one more. Another one to the right.
Right over, is that Port Kimbler?
Yeah, just another 90 degree. Just get used to pulling the 90.
Their speed's increasing a little bit.
Yep, so that means you're either pushing the nose down a little or you are
bit increase on the
adding
throttle.
a bit of throttle, yeah. So I'd say you've just increased the nose attitude a bit. Just lift the nose a bit. Okay, let's go to full flap.
Okay, so...
Wollongong traffic, Jabiru 5549, attached to runway 34, crossing 0826 Wollongong.
Good, so what you can do when you go full flap is not really change the nose attitude much.
Yep.
And use it to help slow your speed down. See the extra drag has knocked some airspeed off?
Yep.
So you can keep your profile so you're heading into your landing spot and just add the extra flap to slow you down a little bit and slow our stall speed down, alright? So let's pretend we're flaring. So just bring the nose up level to level attitude. Pause for a couple of seconds, the plane will start to slow down and sink, and then we just hold off like we do for landing.
Yep.
Okay, now we'll go through to full power and climb away.
Expect 9.
Full power. Full power. See the pitch?
Yep.
You have to control that. So as you're adding the power, you're holding the nose down. Don't let it take over.
Yep.
Full power.
So the climb attitude is on the horizon though? Is that
Full
what
power. Back to full power. Remember what the climb attitude was? Not quite as steep as that, was it? Just down
just
a little.
about there. Yep.
Now we didn't take off with full flap though, did we?
No.
But now that we've we start holding the speed steady. We're not accelerating, but holding steady. But we want 65, don't we, as our takeoff safety speed?
Yep.
So lower your nose a little bit
Okay.
till you're getting the takeoff safety speed. That's it. Now you're starting to accelerate. You can hear the rev starting to pick up and the speed starting to come up. Now we can bring the flap up to half flap. Again, controlling the attitude change or the pitch change.
That's 70.
Good. Now we're comfortable at 70. Bring the flaps all the way up. Keeping the same attitude again. So don't pull it up any higher, just leave it the same. And you'll find your airspeed will increase up to just under 80.
Okay.
Alright, we'll turn on the crosswind.
Alright. Check for traffic.
So 90-degree turn, climbing turn, so a little bit of bank. Notice you got a bit of bank, but the plane doesn't really want to turn.
Bit of rudder.
You don't want more bank, that's right. It needs more right rudder. And you can feel yourself falling into the turn slightly.
Yep.
You need a bit more right rudder. You're in an unbalanced turn. Just add the right rudder. That's it, the rate of turn increases like it should. Alright, let's level off at 2,000 feet, so we'll keep coming around till we're right facing back down south. There's your 2,000, so while you're still turning, lower the nose. Pause, so nose down a bit more, pause to accelerate. There it goes, and then bring your power back to that 2800 again. While you're doing that, you're watching your attitude, just glancing at the tacho every now and then.
Yep.
So you can keep the wings level, keep the attitude steady. Bingo, we're on downwind, we've accelerated up, we're all good. Yeah, and it's because you didn't change the trim, it's still back there. Alright, so just run through that again, just slow down, put the flaps down to half flap, start your and we'll start the descent by rolling into the, you wanted to do it in the turn? Sure. Alright, so this time, do it like you used to do in the Cherokee. So bring your power back to start slowing down, then roll into your turn, and then go for your flaps.
Get the power back
You need the power back more.
Okay.
Got to wait till you're in the wide arc. You're not there yet. So you need a bit more power off. Now you can put the flaps down. You're right at the top of the white band, so we're going a bit fast.
Probably a bit too much flat there.
So we need more power off. And then you're looking whether to start your descent. So see, there's a lot of things happening.
Yep.
And we overshot our turn.
Yep.
So I think the other method, particularly at first, is sit
Okay, let's do that then.
Yeah, slow down, get half flap out.
Yep.
Then decide when you want to turn. Just a lot easier. So let's go back to go around again. So back to cruise attitude. Put the flaps back up.
So climb power?
No, we'll just go back to cruise. So back to 28. Clean your flaps up. We'll just run through that quick little exercise again. But this time, so we'll let the plane accelerate. Better, we'll just turn left so we don't go in over that building, so just left-hand turn, track back down the coast. Just to be different, we'll do a left-hand turn this time, but we'll separate that turning base function from getting the flaps organised. Just get yourself a nice line there, something to track towards. So we're staying off the houses, okay. So we'll go through the process of slowing down and getting out stage 1 of flap and maintaining level flight.
Yep.
Then we'll turn and go into the descent.
Okay.
Alright, there you go.
Slow down.
So bring the power right back to 2,000. You see the nose starting to drop, so there's your signal to start to bring it up slowly.
Right, wide arc, first stage of flaps.
Okay. And the nose coming back to level. And that's brought us back to our 70 knots, so our power setting's probably about right. We're maintaining 70 now. We're maintaining height.
Yep.
We're all good, so we can go as long as we like while we're checking when we're ready to turn base.
Yep.
And now we've decided, okay, it's time to turn base, so we're going to do a left-hand circuit. So bring your power off and let the nose drop a little in the turn. That's it. You've started your descent. You've started your turn. And your airspeed's right where you want it still. Easy.
So the power's almost right off there.
Yeah. These are pretty good. They're pretty efficient, aren't they?
Yeah.
So just light nose down attitude. So see there, nice setup. About 500 foot rate of descent. Airspeed staying on 70.
Can you trim it up a this stage?
Yeah,
Or?
no problem, why not? Just trim the attitude, don't try and fly it on the trim.
No.
Just hold the attitude with the stick and just trim off the pressure.
Okay, 70 on descent.
Perfect. Alright,
400.
we'll turn on to final.
Look for traffic.
So again, back out the front, so you roll into the turn nicely. You're assessing your turn, so you're not using too much rudder or letting the attitude change.
Yep, 70 knots.
Perfect. Come round, we'll pick a ship or something to line up on, pretend that's our runway. Oh, there's a nice road over there. Look at the street. You can go straight up that street.
Yep.
Roll out, so you roll out before you overshoot. Just overshot a touch, so just come back slightly. Bingo.
Okay.
And now let's go full flap, but maintain this same attitude, same profile. So we're aiming for that street over in the distance, the end of the road. Out goes full flap. Controlling any yawing with your rudder. And that's brought your speed back to 65, and we're still stabilised on that same profile, that same approach path.
Yep.
See that?
And then just use the rudder to keep the nose.
Yeah, you can do normal turns now, normal balance turns. But sometimes it's easy just to use a little bit of rudder just to keep the plane straight.
Okay.
We'll be joining a
Just
base.
keep an eye on your speed, so just a touch of power just to maintain it.
Do we want 70 or 65?
65 now. We've got both flat out. We're on 65. And see how we're just tracking down nicely, following the profile down to that street. It's a bit flat, it's a bit flatter than we normally use, but it's a nice approach profile. Alright, let's do a go round.
Copy, thank you.
Gyrocopter off there and the blimp up there.
I've got him, yep, so we'll do a go round. So power first, control the pitch up. You don't want it to pitch too high because then it starts to slow down. See how we're actually slowing down from our... We had 65 before. Let's just look at that again. So power back a little. Get the nose down again.
It's quite a strong pressure you got to apply.
Yes. Okay, so put the power straight through to full power, at the same time pitching up to level. Just level only. Hold the nose down. That's it. See how that maintained our airspeed?
Yep.
Now we can pitch into the climb.
In stages?
And then just start to bring the flap up in stages. Enough, stop. Wait for the plane to accelerate. Good, and now you can go again. That way, then you can adjust your attitude for your climb speed. So you're maintaining your momentum and your airspeed.
Yeah.
Alright, let's level off. Get everything stabilised and trimmed up again.
Wollongong traffic. Lima Victor, November 7 power station joining base for runway 16.
And we're going to turn and track down the middle of the lake.
Wollongong traffic, Foxtrot Yankee is rolling, runway 08 will be well clear. Wollongong.
Check your attitude in the turn. There you go. Check your power. Sounds a little high, yeah, just a bit high, just pull it back a whisker. And we'll track across to the middle of the lake, and then we're going to track straight down the centre of the lake. So just roll out of your turn, go straight ahead. When we get to the centre of the lake, we'll track straight down the centre of the lake. And we'll give our inbound call now.
Wollongong traffic, Jabiru 5214 is 4 miles to the northeast, 1,100. Tracking to join mid-downwind, runway 34, Wollongong.
The blimp's still floating around up there.
You want a slight descent to 1,000?
Yeah, but we don't need to be down there till we get down, ready to join downwind. So got plenty of time. And we'll just track straight down the centre of the lake now.
November's mid-finals 16, Wollongong.
16, so we had a wind change, or he's just sneaking in on... That's the jump lane just coming in on 16. I'm just going to check the wind.
Cloud clear below 2,000 feet. Visibility 10 kilometers. Dew point 10.
Little to your right.
Humidity 43%. Rainfall last 10 minutes
straight ahead.
nil. Wollongong AWS aerodrome weather. Wind 040 degrees magnetic 8 knots.
Okay.
QNH 1018 hectopascals. Temperature 24. Cloud clear.
So 040, so it's, you wouldn't do 08 in that case?
No, but we have an aircraft, or is that a balloon?
That's
Yeah, well done. Traffic, go up at 958, correction, we're now joining downwind for 08 Wollongong.
Someone's joining downwind 08. So that'd be that guy over there.
I don't know what that is.
So what are we doing, 3-4
I
or?
think that's a balloon. Yeah, we'll continue on to 3-4.
Go from the 1958, Jabiru 5214. We're about to join mid downwind 34. Don't have you visible at this stage.
Okay, no one coming in on our right.
Yeah, copy that, Bruce.
No one
Cross coming up to the end of the lake.
Okay, yeah, we're well ahead and we'll be doing circuits on 3-4.
Wollongong traffic, Lima Victor, November's clear of like the runways.
Yeah, that was just a balloon from the car yard. Okay.
Well,
traffic.
3-4's the one, we'll also join, we'll change your intentions.
Downwind?
Yes.
Change your intentions, we're now joining mid downwind for 3-4.
Traffic Jabiru 5214 is joining mid downwind runway 34, number 2 to Garo 1958.
Okay, we need to slow right down now.
Wollongong and
Got the gyro over there.
Jabiru and Gyrocopter, yes.
80 knots.
This is Captain Foxtrot Yankee turning final 08. We'll be conducting circuits into wind on runway 08.
Aha, there was another aircraft in the circuit, Cap 10. Okay. 08 and 34 we discussed before don't work out together very well.
Yeah. So what's the gyrocopter doing there? Is
He changed his plan because I did, but I hadn't heard from the Cap 10, so I think it's better if we go round onto 08. So let's just depart straight ahead and we'll come back around and rejoin crosswind for 08. So we just maintain height, just depart straight over this ridge, and just as we get to the ridge, before the ridge, you can turn.
Going up to 1958, turning an early base for 3-4 for a full stop and copy the plane on final on 08.
Traffic Jabiru 5214 is turning base runway 34, maintaining 1,000 feet, and will then join crosswind runway 08, Wollongong.
We'll just hold our altitude and keep coming around, and that'll put us onto a crosswind join for runway 08.
Going up to 1958 on final 3-4 for a full stop.
08's left-hand circuits?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so just keep coming around?
So straight ahead now, just for a few seconds longer, so we join across the strip.
Okay.
Okay, and about now we can now turn onto right angle turn, and then we'll join crosswind 08. Just look for that Cap 10, see where he's gone. Okay, he's on upwind. So let's keep it nice and slow, because if we try and cut in, we've either got to go fast or slow. Alright, he's just turning crosswind now, so if you accelerate, we should get through in front of him.
Go up to 1958.
Keep tracking straight ahead. Go back to your 2800, 100 knots. And he's just turned onto an early downwind, so no, it's not going to work out. Okay,
Go.
yeah, we'll do a left-hand orbit, so turn left and we'll exit the circuit again, come round behind him.
Traffic Jabiru 5214 was joining crosswind 08, now conducting a left-hand turn onto a tight downwind, and we'll come around number 2 to the Cap 10.
So keep coming around and we'll just go upwind, up runway 08.
Yep.
That'll put us in behind him.
Traffic Jabiru 5214, upwind 08, 1,000 feet.
Okay, straight ahead, and just when you get near the end of the runway.
Traffic, Foxtrot Yankee turning base 08, touch and go. Wollongong.
That's That's it. About now we can turn on a crosswind.
Okay.
So check, and then a 90-degree turn. So pick your target up there, in the middle of that little pond there, turn straight for that. So bank, hold, wait for the turn. Ease off your...
traffic, Lima Victor, November's taxiing for runway 34 for
Good,
parachute
straight ahead.
to the northeast, Wollongong.
And just keep an eye over your shoulder and determine when you want to turn on the downwind for your downwind spacing.
Pretty
And
much
also traffic,
now.
Lima Victor,
Okay.
November, traffic operating on 08, what are your present positions?
Turning final, Foxtrot, Yankee, Wollongong.
Yeah, copy, we'll just hold and wait for you, Lima Victor, November, thanks.
Jabiru 5214, mid downwind 08.
Okay, roll out parallel to that runway. And as you get a beam to threshold, you can start the slowing down process. Okay, so we want the power right down close to 2000 so we can get back into the wide arc.
Alright, wide arc.
Good.
Flaps.
Stage 1, hold the nose level, just down slightly, pushing it down a little. Brought our speed back to 70.
45.
Yeah, probably just go, yeah, that's okay now. Yep, so we roll into the base turn and start the descent.
Wollongong traffic, Jabiru 5214 is turning base, runway 08, Wollongong.
Good, look at the profile, we're getting a little bit high looking, so we need to come down a bit quicker, so we'll get more power off, and we'll run straight through the full flaps now.
Full flaps.
Wollongong traffic, Lima Victor, November, crossing runway 08.
Yeah, make sure that's it. See, it's a bit stiff on the end, you had a little bit of power still hanging on. Just keep the same profile, that's it. Keep the power right off.
Check final. Now I can trim
Good.
it after this turn.
Yeah, turn first though.
Alright, 70 knots. Pretty good.
Yep.
Runway's clear.
Yeah, that other aircraft's now clear. So pick your aiming point, set the plane up, so we're tracking for that. Remember, like putting the big pole out the windscreen down to where you want to go, let's keep the plane sliding down that pole. That's it, looks nice.
Flying crosswind from the left.
You just lifted the nose a bit, so that's going to slow you up, so just check. Yeah, we're drifting back below the 65, so just a little squirt of power. Another just a little trickle of power. Good. Wings level now, slightly down into the crosswind if anything. Don't change any power settings, it's all looking good. Ease the power right off.
And we'll
Holding the
traffic,
nose up. Oh, quick. Right. Okay.
And traffic on 08.
And go.
Right, flaps up.
Yeah, I'll fix that. You just go.
Downwind,
And go. And go. Full power, full power, full power, full power, full power, full power.
Yeah, so just grab that throttle.
Nose down.
Yep,
Nose down. Nose down. Nose down. Nose down. Nose down. Down, 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 down. The important thing is to accelerate to a safe speed first.
Yeah.
That's it. Now we can let it come up a little bit and start climbing. Don't worry about the flaps. Just ensure that you've got the plane flying, you've got a safe speed when climbing away, okay?
Yep. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, that's alright.
It just really,
Yeah, I know.
took all the,
Yeah, I know. That's alright. So now we want 70, so nose up and touch. Good.
Foxtrot, Yankee is turning base 08, touch and go, Wollongong.
Not too high, just in between.
Can you trim it up in the climb?
Start our left turn, yeah you can. Start your left hand turn. Just hold the nose, just do whatever you got to do to hold the nose attitude. Stick pressure shouldn't be too strong, but if they are, you can just move the trim a bit to ease it off.
Now, do you want the flaps up?
Okay, now we'll get rid of the flaps. Now we're all organised and we've got time to think. Look at your line for crosswind. Is that a good crosswind line?
Yeah, looks
Not
like
really, is it? We want to be
over there a bit.
over there a bit more.
Okay, turn downwind.
Okay. Jump plane departing on 3-4's gone. Yep, he's clear, so we can turn now inside.
Jabiru 5214 is turning downwind 08, and we have Lima Victor November visual.
Copy, thanks. Lima Victor November departing crosswind 3-4, tracking overhead Lake Illawarra.
Roll that parallel to that runway.
Thanks for the break, guys.
So look at the runway, look at our line and say to yourself, are they parallel? If not, make them parallel.
Okay. 1,000.
I think a little bit more to your right, yep. So nose down now. Pause. So attitude. Pause. Power. Okay, pre-landing checks this time. We just got time. Brakes.
Yep.
Engine. Fuel. Pump is on and configured. We have a sufficient. Occupants are ready and we're happy with that runway. Okay, we need to slow right down. Put the flaps out. So power comes straight back to 2000. As soon as the nose starts to drop, hold it up. Keep the power coming back a bit more and it'll slow down quicker. Here, quite a big change in engine mode. Okay, that's it there now, good. Okay, flaps out. Nose back down to parrot. Level. Speed's coming back to 70. Time to turn.
For 58, taxiing for 3-4, Wollongong.
Wollongong traffic, Jabiru 5214 is turning base, runway 08, full stop, Wollongong.
Okay, look at your profile to the ground, that looks about right. Get your line, get your speed. Speed's a bit high, so I want to sneak the power back a little. While you're doing that, watching out the front, holding your line steady, and then looking at the profile. So speed, line, profile.
It's very hard to get the...
Bit stiff?
Yeah, very stiff. I'm not sure what yours is like, but...
Yeah, I'll have to get him to check that. It shouldn't be that tight. Okay, we'll start coming on a final and we'll go full flaps. Okay, so our target speed 65, but also we need to be following the profile. It looks like we're flattening a bit, we're dropping height.
Yep.
So your nose needs to come up, we've got to fly back up towards our profile. And that will also bring the speed back a bit, but it's still okay.
On down.
Alright, now it looks like we're flattening again, and we're starting to lose speed, so we need some power. Bit more power. Bit more. Bit more power. That's better. A tweak more, just a little touch. Good.
I think I'll try and...
So this time, yeah, when you bring the power back, we'll just bring it back a bit.
08.
So I'll help you with the power while you're concentrating on the flare and holding it level. Alright, so you can start the flare. Holding it off. Up, 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 up. That's better. Up, 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 up. Good. Beautiful. Wait for it, There it goes. Keep the nose up, keep the stick coming back. So you're holding the nose up, holding it light.
Yep.
And then when you're nice and slow, you can let it come down. Left hand comes across, finds the brakes. As soon as you do that, stick comes all the way back.
You're going to make it through, so until I go around.
You'll be right.
And lower the...
No, don't worry about that yet. Just control the aircraft, clear the runway. Good. Make sure, wait till we're clear of the runway. Call clear.
Wollongong traffic, Jabiru 5214 is clear of all runways, Wollongong.
Alright, we get it all under control, make sure everything's right. Then you can look for some flaps and bring them up. But the flaps are your lowest priority. Important thing is controlling the aircraft, clearing the runway.
The elevator's holding back.
Yeah, just hold that bit of back pressure on the stick. Once you've finished slowing down, you know, you can relax on the stick and just leave it neutral now.
Traffic in the Wollongong CBD, Flagstaff Point area, Lima Victor November is 5 minutes to parachute drop from flight level, expect 9 canopy, Flagstaff Point, Wollongong CBD area.
Traffic 2608, taxi to 34 Wollongong.
Wollongong, clear of main run.
Come round to the right here.
We'll just go over there and we'll put it between those two hangars. But see the blue hangar and the brown hangar?
Yeah.
So we just stop right between the two. And over inside the parking loop. Good, nice. Straighten up now and straight ahead, and we'll just pull up just up here. Good, perfect, right here. Oh, you overshot. Supposed to be between.
Oh, sorry.
Alright, we'll just carry it back. No, we'll pull it back in there. We're going to tail it back in there.
Right.
Alright, so now what do we do?
Brake
Clean
on.
up.
Clean up, so
Switch off.
flaps are up.
Shut down. So we clean up the flaps, we clean up the transponder. Back to
off.
standby.
Standby.
Back to standby. We tidy up the trim. Back to neutral. Alright, so everything's cleaned up.
Switch off.
Now we're going to switch things off and then shut down.
Lights off, avionics.
Yeah, sorry about that landing.
No,
that kind of shook me, to be honest. As you saw on the go-round, I was like still thinking about what just
that's
happened.
So what you got to do, and that's another important lesson. Whatever just happened is in the past.
Yeah.
We've just got to focus on what's in front.
Yeah, that's a good lesson.
Because you very easily get distracted. Oh, what went on? What happened? Why did I do that? And you're not thinking about what you're doing out here, and you're getting out of control.
Yeah.
And people that get themselves into trouble, it's quite often what they were doing. They're still thinking about what happened before.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it was good, bad, or absolutely terrible. It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah.
This is the important thing. What's next?
Yeah.